ప్లస్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసేటప్పుడు అక్కడ ఉండే గంట సింబల్ను ప్రెస్ చేయడం మర్చిపోవద్దు.
Cutting. Cut here.
Maybe together cut this cake, please.
First and foremost, very good afternoon to everyone, and I have to welcome Dr. Michael Mosley to our country. Or should I even say that, because you belong to India? I feel
Yes,
you were
no, I'm born out here.
हाँ, वो यहाँ पे पैदा हुए कलकत्ता में, और परवरिश उनकी abroad हुई है. But I feel very happy that he believes in Indian food and the power that Indian foods have, and he propagates that with whatever little I've read about him, seen of him. I love the fact that there is someone out there in the West who is propagating Indian foods, and I welcome that. So welcome to India.
Thank
back
you.
again.
Yes.
And also have to take the opportunity to congratulate Sony BBC Earth on completing a year and being the #1 channel. Wow. So yes, I really believe that most people underestimate the power of food, and a lot of people think that hitting the gym is enough, and I've always said this, and I'm going to repeat myself, that it is 70% diet and 30% some kind of workout regime, whether it is yoga, cardio, and I think it's pretty much the same thing that even Dr. Mosley also says. So I'm going to leave it to you now,
Sure.
because he is the doctor. And I think he speaks beautifully, and what he says makes a lot of sense, and it stayed with me.
Thank
And
you.
he's also the man behind the intermittent diet. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I've followed it. I've never done it, but I do want to do it. I really believe that the benefits are huge. The whole 5:2 kind of diet plan is wonderful, where you eat for 5 days and 2 days in between you fast, which is pretty much a philosophy of Ayurveda. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely right.
Yes, so it again comes from the whole Indian ethos of eating. Please tell us more about that.
Thank you. Yes, so I mean, what is fantastic is coming back to India after all these years, having been born here. And it's not just the sort of Indian foods that I embrace, but also many of the Indian practices, which have now scientists become very interested in fasting, intermittent fasting, also mindfulness, meditation, and I believe you teach yoga, and I'm going to ask her to show me some yoga poses soon. But any other fans of yoga here? We now know that yoga is again incredibly good form of exercise, but also good for the mind as well as the body. So I think that, if you like, modern science is slowly catching up with things that have been known here in India for a couple of thousand years. The only thing I would say, which is kind of bad at the moment, is that you guys are heading towards type 2 diabetes at a very fast rate, and I think it's important to find ways to correct that, because one of the myths which is out there is that doctors have all the answers, and I'm afraid they don't. That a lot of your fate is in your own hands, and it's about discovering the foods and the lifestyle and the things which will restore you to balance, and that's really kind of what the programs I make are all about. And one of the things I always do is I do the experiments on myself. So the reason I got interested in nutrition is because 6 years ago I discovered that I was a type 2 diabetic, like my father. And I suspect, like a lot of your fathers and mothers in this room, because almost everyone I've spoken to in India so far has a parent who's got type 2 diabetes. And the doctors will tell you that it is an irreversible disease, and you have to keep on taking the medicines. And I can promise you that is not true. It is possible to reverse. I did the 5-2 diet, I lost 10 kilos my blood sugars returned to normal, where they have stayed ever since. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm cured. And that is a message I want to take out
That's
there.
wonderful, Doc. That's very, very...
It's fantastic. And can you keep it up, Raven?
I can. I
Okay.
can actually do it better without clothes.
Okay.
But we can't do that.